everyone, this is Tony from TNT Travels. This is our trip to the Southern Caribbean on Princess Caribbean Cruise. I'm going to show you my packing video and what I normally do. Normally, I do a lot of travel, so I have another bag that's already pre-prepared. I have a brand new bag because this is going to be a larger trip. It's going to be a 13-day cruise. So I'm going to use this bag to pack. I'm going to show you how I pack. So this is standard suitcase, and I start off with my pants, and what I like to do is the heavier pants, the bottom first. And I like to reverse the pants, so legs one direction, top the other, alternating. This divides the load inside better. Then I go to my dress shirts. And these dress shirts, I like to keep them all in an order, and I normally put them to the top of the bag. This helps to prevent more wrinkling. The next point that I will use is all the t-shirts and activewear that I'm going to use, because this wrinkles less, and I'll put this toward the middle of the bag. Then I will also get all my shorts that I'm going to use for the trip and take them and put them to the lower side of the bag, because these, if they get wrinkled more, it's less noticeable and you have less problems. So now I have a bag that's prepared, dress shirts toward the top, t-shirts in the middle, shorts and activewear toward the bottom. At this point, I like to use this little zipper section on the top. Open that up. And I will be putting in my underwear into this port of the bag, along with socks and other items. I'll be getting my socks, putting those in there. I will zip that compartment where there's easy access to it. And then finally, I will take basic grocery bags that we get from our local grocery place, and I will use those to put in my shoes. And these will go to the bottom of the bag. And there you have it. That's how I pack. Oh, and I forgot one other item. I do have a belt. And what I normally do with the belt is I'll just line the perimeter of the box or the bag. Close it up. All I got left is just to toss my essentials in. And that's it. I'm done. Hope this is helpful and informative for you as a man who's traveling. I packed lighter this time than the last time I went because I had too much clothes for a 7-day cruise. So this time I packed not less than what I did for the 7 days cruise, but proportionally less, because this is a 13-day cruise. Thank you. If you have any questions, don't forget, click the subscribe. And
hello everyone, I'm Tiffany from TNT Travels, and I'm obviously the Tiffany part of Tony and Tiffany. So Tony's already completed his packing, and he has showed you that in his segment. We pack a little differently. I like to use packing cubes. He doesn't. He packs everything in one suitcase. I don't. I use up to 3 of these items. My goal is to not use a backpack it is to use just this and this. Let me explain what these are first. This is, I think it's about an 18, could be up to a 20 inch. I really believe it's 18. I should have measured. It's one of these smaller suitcases. It will work for international travel. And how do I know that? Is because about 2 years ago I traveled to Ireland and I used this as my carry-on and it worked perfectly. So anyway, that is what that's about. Standard, nothing fancy, it's expandable, I like it. This is my personal item bag. I have a new one. This one's a little bit bigger. I chose it because it has a zipper portion right here, and I will put my shoes, that's the plan. And it has a trolley sleeve, so I will put it on top of my suitcase. The goal here is to get as much of the clothing in here and what I'm going to be wearing overnight in our stay in Florida before we get on to the ship is going to go here, and any of my essentials. We're going to do a video of what we take for our essentials. So that'll be the next video. So I have a lot of little pockets in here. I've never used this, so it's going to be interesting in how it works. If I still have items that I need to take with me, I will use this bag. This was also something I used in Ireland when I went there a couple of years ago. It too has a trolley sleeve right here. If I decide I want to put it on top of this particular suitcase, or I would just use it as a backpack. That makes more sense, because why carry something when you can just put it on your back? So this is actually a diaper bag, but it has lots of space, and I had wonderful success with it before. The goal is not to use this, just to use these two, but we're going to see how it turns out. So let's get started in packing. All right, so these are the packing cubes that I use. I have over to the side over here, I do have some other ones that are not compression that I believe they're some of the first ones I purchased. These are. So I'm going to start, I'm going to move one over because I don't need it. Over there. And so you can see, this is already, probably through the wrong one. This is already compressed. So I'm going to open it by unzippering the side. So this is what it looks like when it's not, it's just a box. Don't know how well that reads for you. But anyway, so that's what I have to work with. Now I'm going to start with my evening dresses for the main dining room. And I always go back and check because this little skirt here, I don't want it to get too wrinkled. And it's one of those things, if you have to iron, I can have that brought to my room, or I can go to a space where they allow that. Sorry that I'm putting that in front of me. This one will wrinkle, so I do want to make sure that when I roll it, I'm very careful with how I roll it. Even though I have wrinkle release, I will spray that on. I only have two that I'm mostly concerned about because, let's see if we can do it sideways. I'm not really sure how I'm going to put those in there yet. See if I can find the shoulder right there. So for me, my favorite part of my traveling is the main dining room. So I look forward to that. All right. As I said, most of this I'm not so worried. I will spray wrinkle release on it and it will fall out. But I will have to do that immediately. So that's once I get there, I open up my suitcase and I will give a good spray with the Downy Wrinkle Release Plus. It has Febreze in there, so after I've worn a dress, if I feel that the dress needs to be freshened up, I can do that. Let me just go this way. I think this way is a little bit gonna work better. Looks like not much is gonna fit in there. Now this dress isn't gonna go in because it's gonna go overnight, but I wanted to show it to you. So I'm going to just put that over here. We're gonna be boarding our ship on St. Patrick's Day, and I'm gonna wear that dress, and then that will be my dress for that night. So here's another dress that I'm gonna be wearing. This one is not one that will wrinkle, so I could literally not be very sensitive with it, and it would be fine. So, but you know, I don't want to add any extra. Now you may not roll this way, you may choose something different, and that's fine, because you gotta do what works for you. This is another one. This is gonna be one of my formal wears. So the very first time I cruised with Tony, my very first cruise was in 1989, but the very first time Tony and I took a cruise together was in 2001. We went on a celebrity cruise, and back then, believe it or not, at that particular time, Tony had to buy a tux. I had to wear long formal wear, so I had 2 long dresses that I wore. And that was a challenge. But everything that we're reading now, cruise lines have gotten away from that. I think you have to go on Cunard, and then you have to go on more of the luxury cruising. So I'm trying to think if I want to roll this way. I think we can do it this way. And so I'm rolling not so super tight, but I'm also not rolling super loose. All right. So these are the dresses. There is 5 here, 1 makes 6. And I don't believe I have anything left. So I'm taking 6 dresses with the idea I'll be wearing them twice. So that's fine for me. I can wear my formal dress for 2 of the formal nights. This one that's a little more formal, and this can be for rest of the time. All right, so let's go ahead and zip this up. And then if I want to go ahead and compress it, which I'm sure I probably will need it for my suitcase, I'm gonna go ahead and run the zipper, right through here. I think you can see that. And it just comes on around. They're usually not very difficult at all. See how it took that and it already made it a little bit more flat and neat, if you will. So let's move on to our next item. All right, for my second bag, I am going to be putting items that will be for excursions and for around the ship. So if there's something that the afternoon tea or anything playing any kind of game, would be more of an afternoon activity, just hanging around. I'm not going to be maybe at the pool, won't be at the main dining room, not going to be in the gym. This would be what I'll be wearing. So another one of these packing cubes, I got these off of Amazon. There's a variety of them you can find, no problem. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm taking this like a skirt. I don't have to worry so much about it because it's one of those that will not wrinkle, or it will not hold the wrinkle. Now this, of course, I want to be a little bit more careful. So I'm going to just fold it and then roll. And again, I don't want it to be a very tight roll. Another pair of shorts. These are ones that, you know, they got a little bit of that give. So they're not one that would be prone to wrinkling as a complete cotton, 100% cotton, but they will obviously catch a wrinkle if you're not careful. And I'm just rolling. Again, these will be, if need be, sprayed. Worst case scenario, I just get an iron. Let's hope that doesn't happen. I don't want to be ironing on my trip. I did have to last time, and I did have items like this folded the same way. All right, so this is a long shirt. It's a gauzy kind of shirt. I'm bringing that because I may not want to wear sleeveless shirts the entire time. So it's just a backup if I need a little something on my sleeve, on my arms. So then I have, these are two right here, two little tank tops that I have. What I'm gonna do with these is I could probably do this, and roll these up together. And again, I'm not trying to roll in any kind of wrinkles. So I'm not worried, I'm not trying to force it to be super, super tight. This is just a standard t-shirt. A lot of this I can wear again. Now this one is one that will not wrinkle, so if I want to, I can put these two together. And again, just try to be nice and neat. The sleeves are gonna pop over. So let's see if we can roll that in a little bit. Sometimes it gets away from you. This little sheet here is stretching out. That's okay. And this, probably scooch in here. Now it's gonna do a little bit of a puckering here. So I may want to try to do this. And I'm sure that's making some of y'all cringe, but I've done this a good bit. So in the past, I didn't have problems. If I have problems this time, it'd just be what it's going to be. I kind of think that might be a little bit better solution. Okay. This is all going to be excursion and around the ship wear. For any of, there we go. All right, let's move on to the next item. Okay, so the next group of clothing that I'm going to pack is going to be, and it's already expanded, is going to be my gym wear. I've started working out and I plan to use the gym for this particular sailing. Now with gym wear, I'm gonna see if I can get this and my swimsuits in here, but we'll see. So I am just going to not be as particular. I'm just gonna roll this up in here and hopefully everything will fit nice and neat. We'll see. But if I have to put another packing cube for just swimsuit stuff, that's okay too. All right, so now I'm going to grab my swimsuit items, or pool items, swimsuit cover-up, and I'm going to see if I can get that in here too. This might be a challenge. So let's go and take swimsuits out. I added this. If you were watching the packing video, I did not try this on. This is a second cover-up, and I forgot. So I forgot to model it. And then this is the original cover-up. This is just an old, well, it's not an old, but it's a dress. And I'm not too worried about it because it is just going to be a cover-up. And again, this is more of polo type material, so I'm not worried as far as it getting too wrinkled. All right, so now what I want to do, and this one we may not compress, but if we do, it'd be fine. We'll see how it goes. I will now try to squeeze in literally all of my swimsuits. Okay. Now this one, like I said, we may not compress it. There's going to be a lot of sea days, and I plan on using them to sit by the pool. So that's why I have 4 swimsuits. I like to have 2, in this particular case, just 2 pieces, 2 one piece. This was just a 7-day selling. I would probably not take the extra 2. I'd have just a 2 piece and maybe a 1 piece. I don't think I'm going to try to roll those up. Okay. I can get a little roll, but maybe not. Let's see if we can just put it in here. All right. Let's see. All right, zipped up great. Now I'm going to see if I can compress it. But that might be a laugh. Might be a joke on me. Let's see. Sometimes you can push them down a little bit and you can get that extra bit of space. All right, so now I have 3 of these. So I'll push this over to the side. I need to pack my undergarments, socks, and I believe I can do that in a smaller bag. So let's get that going. All right, for the final part of my packing, I'm going to have my underwear. I'll take 2 bras, 1 sports bra, so that's a total of 3 bras. So I'm wearing 1 down there, and then I'll have these 2. And I have 2, 4, 5 pairs of socks, and then 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 13, 14, pairs of underpants, and then I'll have another pair that I'll pack for my overnight. So what is that, 15? It's always have an extra pair, I don't know why. I can always do sink laundry. So I also have one of these, they're little, it's to go under your dress, so it's not really a girdle, but it does kind of do a little bit of tummy control and all that. So I have that for any of the dresses that I feel I need that with. And then I have the gown that's gonna go in my packing, but then I'll have another gown that I'll show you when I get to my, I wanna call it my essentials, but it will be for the essential packing. All right, so let me pull this out. This is just a type of gown that I sleep in. I don't sleep in pajamas. And of course, I'm not worried about this at all getting wrinkled. As a matter of fact, I think I can just fold this in here. Put that there. And I definitely can compress this. All right, so that should have all of those items that I'm going to, let's put these into the suitcase. Let me show you where I put my shoes into my personal item bag, which is now completely open for my overnight, that I'm gonna be sleeping in the hotel. So I'll be able to take the clothes that I'm gonna be wearing on my travel day. I'll put that in my overnight bag. The dress that I'm gonna wear onto the ship, that'll be in there. Fresh underpants and my pajamas will be in that bag. So it'll be an easy, quick shift around, and all of my toothpaste, toothbrush, all that other stuff that I'll show you that goes in there. All right, so hold on and we'll see if we can fit it all in that suitcase. All right, so this is what I'm working with for this suitcase. I'm really not sure how well I'm going to have everything, but we will see. So these can possibly do this. This one is a fattest one, so maybe this will go here. That will go there. That maybe here, and I might not be able to fit it all in here. I might be having this in my other bag. Okay, so let's see if we put, so this is fine. Before we put this, let's get our shoes in here. And so I'm going to be wearing sandals. So these sandals I'm going to be wearing. So I'm not packing those. And so I'm going to just see if it'll let me just pack them this way, because I'm not worried if they get bent. I have these sneakers. And I could pack these like this. And I could pack these like this. Okay. Looks good. Let's see if it zips. Could be a problem, but we'll see. Okay, loving it. Not hating that. Okay. This will go in here. So this is all of my athletic wear or my excursion wear. Put that in here. Okay, so the very last thing before I start packing my essentials, I am going to have just my overnight pack. So this means that I will have the dress that I'm going to wear on the ship. Okay, I will probably wear this. It's like a little slip that goes underneath, and a pair of underpants. So I'll put that in here, and my nightgown. So I will pack that particular gown because it needs to be washed. Anyway, that gown will go in on top, and it will just fold in. And so this will be what I will wear for the day. So I'll have this in here over on the side, and then I will just be able to pull it out. Everything will be right there, easy. Easy breezy. And I'll just put this here. So the next thing will be our essentials. What are we going to take? This is future Tiffany here, and I forgot to expand my suitcase. So I ended up cramming this thing absolutely full and not realizing I have some extra space. So in this video, you're going to see that my packing cubes didn't fit, but in fact, they did. So I have 2 here, 3, and then I have the 4th one here. This is a little carry bag that if I go in, when I go into town on excursions, it has the kind that's the blocking, so that I have read and watched videos where they can get your card information. So I have that as a crossover. I didn't show that in my essentials. But anyway, this is my curling iron, and I couldn't get it in. So it was one of those packages from our, that was left out of my suitcase. So I just wanted to come back, and I'm just in the middle of editing and getting everything ready, and realize this does fit because silly me forgot to expand it. So let's see if I can do it here to show you that it does fit. I kept looking at my video and thinking, something just looks really wrong. Like, why is this suitcase not, why can't I zip the suitcase? Like, there's something going on here. And it was because I did not expand it. Just a little bit of a push. I actually like my side to be up top like that for me. There we go. So all of that is in here. It is a little heavy. I mean, it probably wouldn't make it for the plane, but anyway, there you go. It's in there. All right, so now I have all 3. So this is what I'll be carrying, and I still have room in here to put the makeup that I have. So I've got my little makeup bags, and then if I need, I still have room in here. So these will be everything that I'll be taking on the cruise when we leave out Monday.